So I did a recent video called Wider where I put weighted hex hubs on Spidey, and it widened the track width of the truck a fair bit, and I'd also got quite a lot of weight in the wheels set up on that. And traditionally, or originally should I say, Gladys was running quite a lot of weight in the wheels, and a lot of you said to me that rotating mass is bad and blah blah blah, and I get it for the go faster stuff, but I didn't really think about the impact that it would have on rock crawlers. So I got myself a set of these cheap AliExpress carbon wheels you get on Amazon. There'll be links to everything below. Wheels, and there's just nothing in there, and they mount almost directly to the face. So I've got 16mm hexes in here, so we are still pushing out. They're not brass. There's no weight really, apart from the portal weights on here and these little pieces of brass where the link's attached to the axle. There's no low down weight on this really, especially coming from the wheels. We're running the Injora blues in here. They're actually cut blues. What else do you need to know? So we had over a kilo of wheelos on Gladys previously when we were up at these woods, and now we're back. We've got the Injora XHX pins, which are rock tired. They're not ideal for woods, but we're not really testing tyres. We're just here to see if we've lost low down stability. So I'm going to shut up now and we'll get on with the video, guys. Let me know what you think. I've still got to sort out the bumps there on the panhard link, but you know, we just got to change the length in here. It's not a big deal. Let's get on with the video. So we start off with Gladys doing an obstacle which we've called the Mossy Lug. Very original, I know. She does a fantastic job of climbing over that first section with these wheels, and from the offset things feel pretty good. It doesn't feel like I've lost any stability at this point. One of the things that I want to touch on is the terminology regarding this type of wheel. So it seems like it's the wrong way round when I think about it, but these are referred to as a positive offset. So the more dish in the back of the wheel, so the further in the wheel mounts towards the centre of the chassis, that is referred to as a positive offset, and the more dish on the outside of the wheel, so the further away from the centre of the chassis the wheel fits, that's a negative offset. So I just wanted to clear that up. And now I know most of you guys will know that, and certainly those of you that were telling me that I should be reducing mass and stuff will probably be familiar with the correct terminology for this type of wheel. So I just wanted to get that up front. These wheels that I fitted to Gladys are running a similar tyre and insert weight to the original tyre. So let's just talk about wheel weights, because that's where the difference really is. The carbon the carbon wheel. So the carbon wheel weighs just 42 grams per corner, and the wheels that I was running weren't particularly heavy, but they were 89 grams per corner. So over half. So you can say that we've dropped across the vehicle somewhere in the region of about 160 grams. Just checking my maths. Yeah, it's a little over 160 grams of sprung weight, unsprung weight, which is the good kind, right? So, you know, my concerns were that I would be losing stability in side hill. I was concerned over a little drop in the effect that weight has on the PSI of the tyre and insert combination. But as you can see, from the video that you're watching, we're still getting plenty of squish on the Injora silicon cut blues. Incidentally, a cut blue is about the same as a green. There's very, very little difference between the two. When I was an early adopter of the silicon inserts, and I thought the blues were too firm, so I cut them. But if I'd have maybe run the truck a couple of times, I would have very quickly realised that after they break in, they do soften up. There's some beautiful shots of the XHX pins from Injora popping up in the video. I hope you're enjoying those. It actually turns out that when the woodland is almost dry, these are actually a really good woodland crawling tyre. They hook up really well on bark, not so well on the very, very slick trees, but pretty good. And on dirt as well, you know, dry dirt, they were doing fantastically. And obviously, because it's not wet, they're not getting turned into glazed donuts, so we're getting plenty of grip there. So the way the deep dish works is you're able to put hub weights in and gain some track width for your vehicle, and of course adjust the track width if you wanted to. Like the computerized tend to run a little bit wider in the front and a little bit narrower in the back, as I have done here. You could use the brass hub weights to gain, you know, to tune the width of the vehicle the way you want it. And the closer the rotating mass is to the centre of the rotation point, the less effect it has. I wasn't running any weight in the vehicle on this day, but I think when I do my new build, I'll probably be running these wheels. And then if I do want to add some weight just to get the weight bias correct, then I probably will add some weighted hexes, and I'll get myself some performance, some weight adjustment. Let's not call it performance, because one thing that starts to become very apparent as I drove for this video test, this rotating mass reduction test, is that Gladys became much better at ascending, at essentially pulling herself up objects. There are a few obstacles within the video that really pleased me and surprised me, but I was expecting further on down the line in the video that I would see some reduction in the places that really matter, and across the log that Gladys is transcending now, I was expecting to see her flop over sideways. This descent here really puts her at an awkward angle. It throws all the weight off in a negative way, and I expected a tumble onto her side, but I was very surprised and really pleased to see that she didn't. Gladys is still really a heavy girl, despite the fact that I took about 250 to 300 grams out of her sprung weight previous to this video. Like in the Gladys Reborn video, I put an Injora LCG Chassis in here. I threw away so much stuff that was causing to have a lot of sprung weight. I really thought that, you know, taking this weight away from her unsprung weight was going to damage her, but it really didn't. And as you can see by this climb here, she's doing really well. I come up with an analogy at the end of the video, actually, in a summary that's coming in a bit, guys, that really sort of nails what I think's going on. This obstacle here, I'm trying to find things that throw her off. I've definitely seen an improvement by by the lightning, you know, by the reducing rotating mass and by the weight that's been lost. So now I'm looking for obstacles that really throw her off, you know, that put the weight in the wrong places and really sort of tease out any issues that we might have introduced. And those you guys that crawl rocks might not get what, you know, how well she's doing here. Maybe you will, I don't know, because of the lack of rocks where we live. We do a lot of woodland crawling. We do some rock crawling. We got some fantastic rocks as well, but majority of it is woodland crawling. So we're falling over felled trees and stuff like that. They can be really demanding. And this little collection of chopped tree stumps and stuff here is a really tricky obstacle. It throws Gladys about. Unfortunately, her very TRX4 turning circle, because she's a Gladys, she is basically a TRX4 clone. You can tell that she really doesn't have the ability to get herself up onto this log. If we was driving something with really good turning circle and maybe a little bit more overdrive, this would have been an absolute breeze. But, you know, again, the reduced rotating mass and the lack of weight now low down doesn't really seem to be hurting us. We've still got a very good front to rear weight bias. I haven't put this on the scales, guys, but I've got a really good feeling that we are somewhere between 55 and 60% in the front of the vehicle with regards to weight bias. So we're somewhere in the sort of 55-45 to 60-40 range. And despite the lack of, you know, weight in the back and the lack of low down weight, so this is the kind of place where it would really hurt you. Gladys's descending here was absolutely fantastic. It's a tricky place to get to extract yourself from. You know, I was very pleased with that. And we're getting up to sort of one or two of the last obstacles now. Thank you very much for staying with me. I really appreciate you. The camera angle fails to do this justice. This is a really steep tree stump, almost vertical in that top section. And as you can see, despite how good the XHX pins and this insert combo are, we really did struggle to get up there. But with a little pop, we made it. It's all right getting up these things. You have to get down them, right? These are the areas that I'm looking at to see what's changed. And we do have to pop the throttle, but we'd have had to have popped the throttle on almost any setup. So this, I've tried to actually give myself a slightly more gnarly side hill. And as you can see, Gladys just put her foot back down. Her foot. I'm anthropomorphizing my RC crawler every day a little bit more than the day before. So she put her wheel back down there, as you saw. The front end settled back really nicely. Let's get this turning. Just going to move the camera, guys, so you can see everything that's happening. So all of my fears, and mainly it was stability related. That's better. Gladys just reset herself. Okay, so this is exactly what I experienced when I had the swamp claws on. That is just enough of a hole to not allow you to get your tyre up. Yeah, where was I? So all of my fears, mainly side hill stability and stuff like that, they were the things that I was really worried about. And as you've hopefully seen today, I had nothing to worry about. You know, Gladys has fell over on the occasions where I expected she would have fallen over previously, and she has not fallen over on a lot of sections that I thought she would. Right, let's go back to me sitting on these logs and we'll wrap up. What a shocker, guys. What an absolute shocker. I'm a convert. We're all kind of told to, you know, oh, add brass, buy this, buy that. Rotating mass has done a few things. I've definitely had better battery life. The servo seems to be responding better. This servo's really good already, but it does seem to be responding better. And the stability that I thought I would lose, I didn't. I've managed to do a lot of pulls today, like that one where I was scamping across logs earlier that I didn't film. That's not very helpful, is it? So I could do it with the Swamp Claw, but these were just so much better, and I don't necessarily think it's the tyre grip compound, etc. I think it's insert and how light we are. Like Gladys was a really heavy rig, but with this Injora LCG on here and the lack of rotating mass, well, let's just put it this way. The next compy LCG type rig, it's not going to be like for a specific class or anything, because I don't do any of that. I just come crawling with my mates. But the next build I do, guys, we're going to be running a lightweight chassis. I'm going to try to keep the weight down, just like Crawler Canyon has done. I'll link to his video below as well. Min-maxing or something it's called. He's just built a really light rig. And the analogy that works best for me is if you were doing a pull-up and you had like a 40-kilo backpack and then you took it off, you'd pull up easier. I can't even do a pull-up, let alone with a 50 backpack on, but you get what I'm saying. So there is only there's a certain amount of available traction for when you're climbing and stuff, and for when you're side hilling and gripping on stuff like that. And if you lower the amount of weight acting, causing a force to act upon that measurable amount of grip, then you'll have more grip, or you'll have less slip because of the impact of the weight. I wasn't a convert, guys, but I think I am now. All of you compy guys that said you need to drop the weight, don't add weight, blah blah blah, I think it's like the weight's handy for the scaler, guys. You know, like if you've got a Defender body that weighs 1.5 kilos with all the bits on it or something, add brass. You're not trying to, you know, you're just trying to stay on your wheels. But for you know, those guys aren't trying to, you know, climb a really gnarly rock section or whatever. But if you're someone that enjoys really crawling up stuff, get rid of weight. Gladys has significantly improved since I got rid of weight. That's it for this one, guys. Again, links to everything in the description below. I hope you're having a blessed day wherever you are, and remember, no matter the question, love is always the answer.